Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. This is the Geshelli Labs Erish 3 Pro, and these are my Honest Audiophile impressions. I want to thank Geshelli Labs for providing the Erish 3 Pro for review. To greatly appreciate it. Geshelli Labs, you rock. Alright, so the Geshelli Labs Erish 3 Pro. This will set you back $550 from your bank account. It is a fully balanced headphone amplifier and preamp. The Geshelli Labs Erish 3 Pro includes 4 Sparkos 2590 op amps. It has a ultra low noise power supply circuit. They do include a 12 volt FCC level 6 power supply. It also has a audio taper potentiometer, preamp output switch, LED colors to choose from, and it also has unity gain and 6 times gain. It has balanced preamp outs and also balanced 4-pin headphone output. The THD and N at 5.1 VMRS is 0.000068%. The Synad at 5.1 VRMS is 123 dB. SNR at 5.1 VRMS is also 132 dB, and it has 2 watts of power per channel at 32 ohm. The Geshelli Labs Erish 3 Pro is customizable pretty much for anything that you see on the outside. So you can get either a metal case or a wood case. You can get all kinds of different colors for metal, and for wood you can get different choices of the woods and the colors, and whether or not you want it rounded or tapered or dovetailed, all kinds of things that you can choose as far as those options when it comes to the case. And then you can also choose what type of display panel and back panel you want, if you want different colors. Obviously, since this is the Halloween season, we have gone with black and orange. So the Geshelli Labs Erish 3 Pro has LED type of settings, and you can change the colors on them. I bet you would like to see that. Okay, so plugging it in and it will turn on, and you've got a little light here for the power switch. Pressing it once, and you're going to be able to start cycling through the different colors. And then if you look in the back here, you can see what it looks like on the inside. And then there's the front. Next to the power button is your gain switch. So when you press it, it lights up. Lit, it's on, and unlit, it is off. Next to it is the preamp, works the same way. Active when lit, not active when unlit. So it's kind of a cool little uniqueness, being able to show what the lighting works like. All right, let's turn the lights back on. All right, so the Geshelli Labs Erish 3 Pro looks really cool when the lights are off. I don't know how well that'll look on camera, but when all the lights are on, it doesn't look too bad either. Some of the LED settings are not near as bright and don't show as well. Of course, if you had different display, it might come through a little bit better. Let's turn it off. So to turn it off, you just press and hold the power button and it turns itself off. The Geshelli Labs Erish 3 Pro, fully balanced, only has balanced outputs for the headphones. And I didn't get a number for what the output impedance is, but if you're familiar with most Geshelli Labs amps, they don't really work very well with IEMs, and that is the case with the Erish 3 Pro. It's not really intended for IEMs, and I found that most IEMs hissed and got distorted and really barely took much on the volume knob. Now, when it came to other devices, such as headphones, didn't have that issue. It was able to power anything that's behind me. I had no issues getting things loud. And it was normally at the most up to about 9 or 10 o'clock on the volume knob. I really didn't venture much past that, especially on if I had to use high gain. There were a couple of headphones that had some odd impedance issues that didn't quite match up with the gain settings. Some of the things that are like 400 ohm or some of the higher impedance ranges like that, it kind of was awkward. Even with using high gain, couldn't really get a happy medium, and I could tell that it was kind of altering the sound reproduction. So it is a little bit finicky with a few headphones, but they were few and far between. Pretty much everything that I have, it powered very easily, other than IEMs. As far as a pre-out, so I used it with a couple different speaker amps, the Fosse Audio V3 monos, and also the Lee Audio Cattle Pro. And I found that it worked just fine. I also used it with a couple different headphone amplifiers going out as a pre to those tube amps and things like that. And the one thing that I noticed about the pre-out was it worked very well. I could use the gain switch, which was a nice thing, but I couldn't really go full max on this. On the Erish 3, it would distort. So I was always about somewhere around about 75% at the most. Usually I was more around 66% on the volume knob for output. And so just be kind of aware with that. If you do use it as a pre-out, you might have to kind of move it around a little bit, which is kind of usual for variable outputs. It would be nice if it had a fixed output for its pre. Also, another thing to note is that when you're using the pre-out and you have it selected by hitting the button up here, it does not deactivate the headphone output. So they both run at the same time at the same volume level. So if you don't want to blow up your headphones, make sure that you are disconnecting your headphone. And if you are going to go from speakers to the headphone, make sure that you deactivate the preamp button and lower your volume down, then plug your headphones in. Because if you just leave it at the same volume of whatever setting you had the pre-out at, you're going to blow your headphones up. So the Geshelli Labs Erish 3 Pro. How's it sound? So I connected it with all sorts of DACs. FIO K19, Mytek Liberty DAC 2, FIO K9 AKM, FIO K11, FIO K11 R2R, Aune S9C Pro, the various others that I can't even think of right now. And I was rather impressed at how the Erish 3 Pro reproduced the sound of the DAC. It took whatever was being provided it and exactly reproduced it. It didn't alter anything. It didn't add in extra warmth or more bass or more forward mids or treble or sounding cold or sterile or anything like that. The Erish 3 Pro is extremely neutral. It is very clean, very clear and neutral, and isn't going to alter the sound at all. It's going to give you exactly what is being sourced, which is nice. It has plenty of power, as said, to power all the things behind me, and it's going to give you that clean reproduction of whatever the DAC is providing it, just the way that most of us prefer. If you're looking for an amplifier that's going to add in some warmth or to alter things in a certain way, the Erish 3 Pro isn't that amplifier. It's very clean, very clear, and it also does a very good job with its sound staging. It's very open, but yet at the same time well controlled. You're not having this big, massive, always open all the time, huge soundstage. It does exactly as whatever the DAC is giving it as far as staging, excellent imaging and placement and depth and layering, all of the stuff that you want it to do as far as keeping things the way that the DAC is producing it. It's going to do that. So in regards to the sound, I was very happy. In regards to the customization, it's really cool that it's all added in. But $550 is a lot to ask for a headphone amp that is pretty much only for headphones, doesn't do IEMs, and for a preamp that is variable, doesn't have fixed. And yes, it's fully customizable. Yes, it sounds very good. $550, quite a bit of money to consider. Now, granted, it's handmade. It's made by one of the nicest people I have ever met in my life, Gino. Great friend, and truly love him, and we get along insanely good. It's like we never miss a beat, even if it's been several years since we've seen each other. And the whole company of Geshelli Labs, great people, love them. Some of the best there is. And so, you know, you have an amp that's fully customizable, looks really cool. You can get it in all kinds of designs, does everything that you ask, power-wise, sound-wise, but it's $550. And so I was thinking, on my desk, there sits the Drop SMSL HO150X. And this is $200. Often goes on sale for less than that. And it's a little bit different than the Geshelli, but similar in a lot of ways. So some of the similarities size-wise, the Geshelli is about as wide and deep. It's a little bit taller. Obviously a little bit more attractive, more customizable, the Geshelli is. The SMSL is going to be more more work only type of look to it. Utilitarian, I think, is the word that you use. You have these little switches. You have a power switch. You have XLR and 1/4 inch outputs. And then on the backside, you have XLR in, RCA in, and your pre-out RCAs. Now, the Drop SMSL is not truly fully balanced all the way through. It is a precision linear feedback circuit. And one difference is that the HO150X has 6,000 milliwatts of power at 16 ohms, 3,000 milliwatts at 32 ohm, 550 milliwatts at 300 ohm. And it has that on both XLR and single-ended. And the SNR of the HO150X is 134 dB. The DNR is 134 dB. THD and N is 122 dB, or 0.00007%. The input impedance is 47 KOMs. The output impedance is basically near zero. And so one of the biggest differences is that the HO150X works with IEMs very, very well. You don't get that hissing and distortion like you do with the Geshelli when it comes to IEMs. The pre-out works. I found that the pre-out doesn't distort as much as the Geshelli. I'm not sure exactly why that is, and I don't have to fiddle around with the knob as much to get volume matching and to eliminate the distortion. And so if you're looking for an amplifier that has basically the same features when it comes to sound quality, like the Geshelli, very clean, very clear, not going to alter anything when it comes to what the DAC is giving it. The HO150X does that. It is a very clean, very clear. It is going to reproduce everything that the DAC gives without adding in its own colorization. And being nearly almost a third of the cost of the Geshelli, I do find that the 150X is a better value. But the Geshelli offers a lot of things that the SMSL doesn't have. Customization, the boutique build, the handmade build, all the other things being truly balanced. So it kind of comes down to, what are you looking for? Are you just looking for an amplifier that can do everything without altering the sound and has plenty of power for everything in IEMs and headphones, and has a pre-out SMSL HO150X at $200? But if you really want something special, something unique, I would go with the Geshelli. And I could be happy with both, but I do get better value from one of them. But you get better uniqueness and personality when it comes to the Geshelli. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on the screen, subscription links and notification bells. If you haven't already, don't forget to check those off. Don't forget to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to the video, and check out all the links down below. There's all kinds of information on there regarding how you can contact channel, follow channel, support channel. All that kind of stuff is listed down below. Speaking of supporting the channel, I want to thank my supporters through Patreon, YouTube memberships, and one-time gifts. Thank you for all that you give to the channel. It's much appreciated. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there's various ways that you can do that through one-time gifts, with PayPal, Venmo, and YouTube, or you can do monthly subscriptions through Patreon and YouTube memberships, where you can get extra benefits like getting videos early, and also you can chat with me in some private lounges on my Discord server, and all kinds of other benefits. So if you're interested in supporting the channel, I'd be greatly appreciated. And then down below, there's all kinds of other information regarding like music recommendations and gear recommendations and gear rankings and all kinds of other things. So check out the links down below. And lastly, don't forget to enjoy the music, and that honesty is the best policy.